Thank you, Anya. Listen, next time she's out there, Brandon, I'm going to go out there and stick my thumb out and see if I can't hit you right.
Show her a little leg. That always works.
Yeah, just to surprise her. I told her earlier this week that my husband's brother, Mark Miller, whom we named our son after, and his son, whose name is Sterling, who's named after my husband,
Okay,
who
you guys
lives
don't
in
like confusing.
Japan and
Oh,
has
my
a
goodness.
Japanese wife, and two beautiful little girls are going to be here. And my goal is to have Anya take them on a pony ride around the winter field. So that's my goal.
Oh, they are going to love that. That will be something for them. So we really need to get these horses tuned up a little bit, and it looks like they're pretty well tuned. But get Anya a little bit more experience and just some practice. It's just going to take practice for those little guys. They're doing all the work, and except for Lewis, he needs to have a little comeuppance.
Yeah, he is. He's a little bit lagging behind, or lagging in front. He's actually
lagging in front. There you go. That's the best way to put it.
Yeah, I remember that when I drove them. Yeah, I always had to use the motivator with Lewis, which
yes.
Yeah. Well, Brandon, I think you have another video for us. We're kind of continuing on this series of calving, and I wanted to thank you for putting this all together. I know some people have already seen this particular video, but it's one of my favorites. It really shows the length to which ranchers go to make things happen for their cattle and to get it right.
Well, it's a matter of survival, and not just for survival for the animal, but survival of the, it's a business. It's what it is. So it's a lifestyle, but it's also a business. So yeah, no, we'll play that and we can talk about it.
Thank you very much, Brandon.
Well, hello from the Hashknife. And we got a situation here. I got a set of twins about a week ago, and the cow's taken to the little bull calf pretty well, and kind of half-heartedly to the heifer calf. So I've been kind of watching them, keeping them paired up, making sure that little heifer is able to get plenty to eat. Excuse me, I keep looking over the camera here because I got a cow that just lost her calf last night. And so I'm trying to convince them both that this is in their best interest. So see here is I've got the cow. He's not too wild about taking the calf. Calf's pretty stressed, but there we go. This calf has now decided that this is a pretty good dinner bucket. It's pretty captive because I got this cow in the head catch. What we use generally for pulling calves, assisting in a birth, when something's backwards or too big, those kinds of things. So the cow can't do it on her own. The cow really wants a calf badly, but she just doesn't want this calf. So I've done a couple of things. There's some products on the market that you can use. Oh, there we go. I was just been by hand squirting milk in her mouth, and she was not really taken to this. But there's some products that you can get to make a smell on the cow's nose and then match that to the calf. You spray the calf down, or there's all kinds of different things. We used to, in the way old days, we'd skin the dead calf and then put that hide on the back of this young calf, or the calf you want to graft. And so I noticed this morning that this little girl, she was running around trying to find anybody who would allow her to steal a little bit of lunch, and nobody was having much of it. So she's getting feed where she can. She's milking as she can. I thought this is a good opportunity to try to graft this calf onto this cow, because this cow's a perfectly good cow. Just something wrong with this calf. We did some work on her last night trying to keep her alive, and it just didn't materialize. So this is a really good sign. If this calf and cow can take each other, then that's a win. It takes a set of twins off of one cow that is going to be super taxed. She had a set of twins last year, and it taxed her pretty heavily, and now she's got another set this year. So if I can graft her onto this cow, that helps everybody. And what I was trying to say with the smell stuff is I'm trying something a little different. A lot of that stuff doesn't work all that great. The calf hide kind of works. You do what you can. But I was talking to an old friend of mine, geez, a number of years ago, and all of his cows would really come to grain or to pellets, just as our cows do. So what I've done is I crushed up a bunch of pellets, and I just crumbled them up and I spread them all along her back, her head, neck, nose, and then I fed the cow. And the cow is getting a little bit better about coming close to her, letting the calf come up to her, but she kicks her away a little bit, but not horribly. So here we are. She wouldn't take her, but she's warming up to her, and this calf was getting a little stressed and needed something to eat. So I brought the cow in and got her head caught. She's not kicked this calf off at all. So this is maybe the start of something beautiful here. And I may have to take the calf and pull it away from the cow again, bring the cow back into his head catch, because they'll get to fighting you and step on the calf. They don't care about them. So I may have to do this again a number of times, but I'm going to keep this cow and calf up close, and we will, oh man, that's good when that tail wags. That's a good sign. She might have hit the chocolate spigot there. Only a tail goes like that for sweets and chocolates. Anyhow, we'll keep you posted. We'll see how this goes, and hopefully we got us a success story here later on. Well, here's round 2. I've left him in the corral for the afternoon, and this little heifer's been trying real hard to grab some lunch, and this cow kicks her off, so she's going to get more of this making her stand still treatment. And this calf is being pretty darn persistent, so that's a good thing. But she needs to let her nurse without kicking her off. This calf come running right in here. Wish I'd have had a picture of it, but I don't. But she'll settle down here in a minute. That's got to feel good relieving some pressure off that bag too. But hopefully we'll keep doing this, and this calf is spry enough and it's fast enough that it can get out of her way when she moves around. The only thing I'm worried about is we're stepping on her, but she'll get a belly full of food. She knows where that's coming from, and all of a sudden I'm becoming her best friend because we're tag teaming this bucket of milk. All right, stay tuned. There, we got the baby in again. It's early morning, and this cow, I'm trying her without the head catch, and this is what happens. She keeps kicking this baby off, so we'll see if we can stick her back in the head catch and persuade her a little bit more. She's got to be able to take this baby and let her eat as she wishes. There, we're getting a little bit better. She's getting slightly more cooperative. You can see that little one is undeterred. She's figured out that her and I are tag teaming this cow, and if this cow will just come around and say, you know what, this is the only thing that I'm able to nurse, then maybe she'll accept this calf a little bit better. This is, at least she's not kicking her off, or she's moving away. Now there's a kick, but I think the calf banged her a little bit too. These calves get a little rough with these cows. They'll hit that bag with their head to let more milk down. They're pretty smart, and it's like they do that. I've seen them do that within minutes of the first time they've nursed. Just some instinct that they figure out how the heck that more milk gets if I hit it with my head. I guess it's all they got. They got no thumbs. Thank God, or I'd be in trouble. All right. We'll let her finish out, and hopefully this goes nice and smooth. Only 700 more of these. Maybe she'll take this calf. This is what makes for long, non-productive days. She's trying to avoid her. Come on, little one. Yeah, that girl. You just get right back in there. This calf is smart too. This helps. She's smart. She's pretty persistent. And she's able to reach all 4 nipples from one side. That can't feel good, but That's what they do. All right. Well, we'll keep going on this a little later. Ooh, she smelled her hind end. That's always a halfway positive sign. When they start licking them, licking their tail or rear end, that will spur that calf, especially newborns, to suck. And a lot of times if you got one that won't suck and you can massage them around the rectum, and just kind of just rub them, they will have an instinct to suck, so that helps. Yeah, maybe she'll start accepting her. Let's hope so. Hey. Get back in there, little one. That's right. Look her over, stare her down. Tell her who's boss. Atta girl. Hey, cow, let her in there. Make me intervene again here. You let that baby suck. Had a kid. Try from this side. Hey. You let her suck. Yeah, if I distract her a little bit here, that helps. That little kid can get in there. Hey. All right, you're about to go on the head hitch. All right, kiddo, do your thing. Atta girl. Yeah, get up there. She might try to kick, but you got to be insistent. Your belly's pretty full from the looks of it, but latch on. There you go. She's a little wary. She got kicked in the head a few times by this cow. I don't blame her. Getting cow kicked doesn't feel good. There we go. Yeah, it's better access. And you got two alternatives. You can either let this calf do this in the open, or we can take it from you till you decide to let us take it from the open. I don't like this being tight and confined like this, because this calf can sure get hurt, so that's why I have to be here the whole time. I give that cow a little grain. That bucket's there in front. I give her a little cow cake to eat it. Has an incentive to come in there, and also as a little bit of a reward. Hey, got some cake? Put your head in there. There we go. Give her that. She gets that. Everybody's happy until we run out of that. If this gets her to slow down a little bit, distract her a little and give her a chance to fill up. We keep doing this, eventually she's going to give in, I hope. This is one of those things that you hope you've done the right thing. Sure is the right thing to take this twin away when she's competing for food or not getting food. You got to get it from somewhere, but then it's a matter of, did this cow, is she really the one for the right choice? Not that I've got many alternatives, but I want them to really pair up, so she's going to take care of this calf. All right. Don't fight. You're fine. Don't get mad. There you go, little one. Get back in there. She's smart. She gets out of the way. And the cow starts moving. And then she comes right back to it. You can't ask for a better calf. There's nothing worse than one that won't suck when they got an opportunity, and this is about as good as it gets on this calf's end. All right. I'm not having to milk this cow out. That really helps. Well, we're making a little bit of headway. The calf is able to get in there and grab some lunch, and the cow's letting her do it. I've had to put her in the head catch now, 3-4 times now, I think, 3 times. And now with limited success without it. So I let her fill up earlier a couple times today, and then she's been turned out. I just threw some hay out for this cow, and you know, she kicked this calf off once, but now she's allowing her to get right in there. So we might be making a little bit of headway. Let's hope so. Let's hope she takes this calf in short order and keep them together and decides that, you know what, adoption is a good thing. Of course, we got a peanut gallery of horses here that I'm training that needs to be in on the mix. Asking all kinds of questions. Hey, where can I get one of those? Yeah, you don't need one of those. If I send you home with a colt in you, I think your owner would be a little unhappy. Well, we've got another successful nursing on this calf, but we've had to do it this way again. So she didn't want to take this calf out there, and so as you can see, a little hard to see, I have had to skin her dead calf, and it's kind of a gruesome way to do it, but it's worked the past, kind of old school type. So let her out, smell her calf. Ooh, she says, hey, wait, that's my baby. How come my baby all of a sudden showed up? So we tie this to this calf, and we'll leave her in here with her. And see that, just I've got that old hide draped over her, and hopefully she'll say, you know what, this isn't such a bad thing, and start to accept this calf. We'll try that. Kind of getting down here to desperation. I don't like that she hasn't taken it or won't take it as easily. She did, and she was kind of mixed and lukewarm about it. Sorry for the photography here, or videography. But anyway, we're trying to get her to take this calf that clearly not her own, and she's thinking it's not her own, but it sure smells like it should be her own. That's the whole point. If she'll now take this calf and let her nurse think it's hers, then we got it made. Otherwise, we're going to be a lot longer time here, and I'm going to try everything I can to give her every advantage we can. We haven't had to do this in a long time, but we'll see what we can do. Here we go. She's smelling this baby. Oh yeah, that flaming, she's almost like a bull does, looking for hormone receptors. She's sniffing on this baby. She knows that's the right smell. I should have done this to begin with, but you think she's going to take it? It's not a problem. And you can get this calf grafted, but it didn't work as well as I wanted, so here we go. I'm going to leave them here close together. The calf she's sucked her out quite a bit, but I wanted her to realize that she'd been drained, and she knows that. Hi, sweetheart. And she was very difficult to get in this morning, so that's why I'm getting more and more deliberate about what we're doing here, trying to be advantageous to her natural inclination to take her own calf. So and it's going to be a fight, beyond a fight, to get her to do this. So this calf is kind of milk drunk. she is full of milk and happy, but she'll bed down for a little bit and go to sleep. And when she gets up, hopefully this cow is, she's paying more attention to her now, nose wise, smelling her, trying to figure out why all of a sudden she got this good smell that she hasn't had in the past. But I don't think they really reason that well. But we'll give her a little time to think about this and realize that, you know what, that's what my baby smelled like, and this must be my baby. That's the long and the short of it right there. So we'll see how this goes. Yeah, we might be getting some headway made here. I'm not seeing her allowing this baby to nurse out in the corral, but I did bring her in just now under some duress. She doesn't want to come in, and most of it's, I think, she doesn't want to get put in that head catch, and I don't blame her, but still, she needs to let this baby eat. So the calf is a little bit wary of her, of course, just like that. If she moves, the calf will probably move away really fast. But this is the first time that I've been able to do this. Oh yeah, come on, smell that baby. Start to accept her. I think she's starting to accept her. This has been a rough road, and she is not happy with me, doesn't like me anymore, and I frankly don't care. My concern is about this calf. See it? Yeah, see, she's getting a little warning there. But if we can continue to do this, I'm going to let this calf suck for a little bit, and if she starts to kick her off, then I'm going to give her a little bit of cow cake. But so far, so good. Man, this is the best encouragement I've seen so far. And baby is not as shy this morning as she was. You see how when she moved, she kind of separated. That cow's just not happy. And this is not an ideal cow for this. A lot of cows will just take these calves. A lot of them are even worse. So it is what it is. You deal with it. Try to innovate. And I had that other calf, her own calf's hide on her when I skinned it yesterday and put it on the calf, tied it to her for the day. That seemed to help right off the bat, but yeah, it sure didn't cure it completely and really make her accept her. But this is some good stuff. Well, I'm out first thing in the morning. The light's just coming up, and look what we have. We've got number 97 taking on that little heifer twin, letting her nurse. So this is very successful. Really a relief off my mind that I've done the right thing here. So we're going to keep them around here for a couple more days, and I just want to make sure that this is going to stick and stay. This cow has been much more attentive. She's been talking to this calf, and the calf is almost like she's not bonded to the cow like she should be, which is no big surprise. I think this calf has been an opportunist for 3, 4, or 5 days before we lost this calf on this cow. I think she was just going from cow to cow, eating what she could when she could. So there's really been no maternal bond there for the calf. And hopefully give them a few more days, that'll change. All right, good success story. Here's a little bit more success. We've turned out this number 97 cow and that 88 twin heifer in with some of these heifers that are about to calve. And as you can see, that little girl and this cow have started to bond. The cow just called her over and up out of a nap, and she ran over and tried to nurse off of this cow right in front of us here. And the cow talked to her again, and she left that one and that heifer and then come right over to her and started nursing. So we've got a real strong bond starting to develop. This is really good. I'll give it a couple more days and turn them out. So I'm liking what I'm seeing. So I just turned these two out. A calf got caught behind the fence here on the way out. So I let a distress call. A little bit of a "Wah!" And she come back running. There's this cow's just got her calf here. She's just stupid. She's a young heifer. And "Wah!" That made her come on a run. So you know she wants this calf. Now this calf has just got to go with her. Fences are hard. Things are difficult when you're little. You'd think you'd stick pretty close to that dinner bucket, little one. Let's go. You got a full belly, that's why. You don't care. There we go. Come on. Yep. Listen to him talk. Listen to her. There we go. That's much better. Cow's just got to keep her with her. And she's got one of those little independent minds, you might say. Horse has got to check it out. See what's going on. There we go. Okay. Now we're unobstructed.
Brandon, thank you for allowing us to watch that. I have a number of questions.
Good.
First of all, I know you can bottle feed a calf, but there's way more to nurturing a calf than feeding it. And I assume that all the trouble of grafting this to a cow really increases its overall health, not just in terms of its nutrition, but there's got to be a psychological component in all of that as well.
Well, there is. I think, anytime an animal, including us, is happy, we tend to thrive and do better. And there actually is a nutritional component to that is very, very large. You can bottle feed a calf, is true. And oddly enough, we've got one of those coming up here in the next few weeks to show you. So typically a calf will nurse all the time. I mean, they'll lay down and nap and they'll get up and they'll nurse and they'll go do something. They'll follow their mother around and they'll nurse some more. I mean, they're nursing around the clock almost. So what you'll see is a constant, especially early on, they get a lot of the colostrum, which is so important to their immune system. And they will just grow up and be, muscled and thick and even, and what you would expect to see like a really nice looking animal that's trim yet healthy. And when you bottle feed a calf strictly with a bottle, they will get pot bellied and they don't do quite as well. They just don't grow like a calf does, because you can't be there to give that animal the milk it desires when it desires. And the part to that you really notice that with is when you go out to feed a calf, say a couple times a day with a bottle, they're hungry and they will run to you and they want that bottle. So, it isn't like that they say, okay, it's feeding time and I can wait another 3 hours. They need to nurse all the time. So there's a huge component to that. And when they're not worried about their belly, I think their mind is happy. So yeah, I think you're exactly right.
Yeah, but I would also think that there's a comfort component. I mean, that when you're out in the pasture and anything startles a calf or a colt or any young animal, the first thing they do is seek mother, even if it's not for food, it's for protection. And animals that have a certain level of comfort put more of their energy in growing and in being healthy than in their nervous system to continually react to other things. So does that play a factor as well?
I think it probably does, because you're exactly right. It doesn't matter what they're uncomfortable about, whether it's food or a flight type of reaction for whatever. When you're throwing some adrenaline and cortisol through your body, that's more of a I've got to stay alive instead of I've got to thrive. So I think there is something to that. The part of that also is that cow especially early on, doesn't let that calf get very far away from them. And so they are there for that calf's protection and comfort, whether the calf even realizes it or not. And you'll notice when I let the beller out of me to get that cow to come back, man, she turned around and it was all about, she thought something was wrong, that calf was in distress. And a lot of times that's how I'll call these cows in. And I think the one we got coming up for the bottle calf will be the same way. You'll see where I'm bringing it in, and I'm, kind of turning my mouth out towards the window and giving a little distress call, and that cow will come. Doesn't always work, but it will at least turn them around a lot of times or stop them to come back to that calf. So yeah, I think the cow plays more of a role in that comfort for fear than anything does, because they, and of course they will comfort them so much that sometimes they step on them and can harm them as well. And we had them kill. And I think that's what happened with this cow, why she lost her calf in the first place, because I found the calf out there, it was alive, and it had a large belly, and I did a lot of work to it. I tubed it and tried to save it because I could feel liquid in there, and I think she did some internal damage to it trying to save it, probably from a coyote, most likely. And as that's a very, very common thing for us here, is these cows are very maternal, saving that baby, and they will step on that calf, especially the closer a coyote gets. They are unaware where the calf is really at, and they do sometimes fatal damage to them.
Yeah, I mean, predators know when calving season begins and they hang around. I have a question along that line, Brandon. Do the coyotes eat the placentas? Do they come in and eat that as well, or do they always go for a kill?
I think they'll go for what's available, and typically that cow doesn't leave that area. If she's left alone to calve, she will let that calf stay right there, get up on its feet, and she will not move very far away from where she calved, because she will consume that placenta herself.
Yeah.
And that is, I think, there's some theory, and I think both are right, in that, she's cleaning up an area so that there's nothing left to bring predators in, for one, on a vulnerable calf. And two, there's some very high nutrient in placenta. And so they will eat it, they'll crunch it right down and consume it. So they typically won't leave that area unless they're forced to leave it. And there's times when I've been out in the pasture, tried to keep a cow, around that placenta that I've watched just calve, and they will leave it at times. And then certainly a coyote will come in on that later on. But they're opportunists. They're gonna get whatever's easiest. That's kind of the law of nature. It's conservation of energy.
Right. I assume that you've had similar instances with horses, that you have had some adoptive mares. In the Facebook world, during foaling season in the spring, you often get posts, people who lost a mare during birth and are looking for a nurse mare, and vice versa, a mare that lost a foal and is producing milk. And I mean, people will travel great distances to bring colt and mare together. And I assume, again, that the bottle feeding process in either of these really interrupts the socialization of those calves or foals. And I think that's one of the reasons that people who have an orphan colt, I'm more familiar with the horse world than I am the cattle world, really want that mare's bond, because it's part of the socialization process as well.
That's absolutely right, and especially horses. I mean, we ride a lot more horses than we do cows.
Right.
So we really see what that socialization does, and the disruption of it as well. I mean, you can have a foal that's lost its mother, and God, I mean, that is like, oh, that is the worst thing in the world for me. It's like that is not good. The percentage chance of a successful nurturing and taking care of that colt becomes very, very low, and it can be done, and it's very, very labor intensive if you find a nurse mare. It's easy to do this with cattle because there's so many more of them that are calved or they're born. You've got more opportunity to do that, and you may be able to take a very thrifty cow and pair them with a calf and create a set of twins. That's a worst case scenario, but you may be able to do that. And like our one of our favorite cows, Ears, that you know so well, she would be a candidate for doing that. And I've never had to do that with her yet, but she may do that. And we've got a couple others that I've seen 3 different calves nursing on them, and only one of them are her own. And I mean nursing at the same time. So that's, easy to do. In the horse world, it is not as easy to do. And that socialization or lack of it, when you have to have that occur with the horse so that they know they're a horse. If they don't know that they're a horse, I mean, there can be some very difficult and trying things happen later on psychologically for that horse, especially when you go to train them and work with them and use them later. It can be a real mess.
Yeah, there's really no substituting for that maternal child bond, that it's
That's
just
right.
a really fundamental part of everybody's growth.
Yep.
It's really the only way to thrive.
That's right.
Well, Brandon, I want to thank you for allowing us into your life. It's a rich, rewarding, and challenging life. And I just learned so much from you with these sessions. I look forward to next week's session. And I assume that we're going to continue to follow along this calving path to kind of see the various aspects that you go through on an annual basis.
Yeah, we've got a few of these that like this one we've shown before, but I know we are well past calving season right now, but we're doing this to kind of show, what we've done and where we're at. And we will quickly catch up to something that's not nearly as, I guess, fun to watch. I mean, there's some pretty mundane things that happen around here that has to happen. It's just part of what we do. So when you mentioned the rich part, I know you don't mean that in the money part, because that's certainly not it. And rewarding, yeah, it's pretty rewarding, but there's a lot of hard lumps that go along with that as well. So, but yeah, no, I appreciate that, and it's fun to do this so people can see what we do and have an understanding of what people in agriculture, what we do to make people's bellies full, and that's really what it amounts to.
Yeah, I think though that when I said rich, I did mean rich in experience and rich
Yes.
in shepherding. I mean, you shepherd your own family, you shepherd your cattle, your horses. There's just a nurturing role that takes place that is central to ranch life that I think is really an enriching part of people's lives, to have your life kind of centered around taking care of. I mean, it makes you a different person in some ways, I believe.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right, and I know what you meant by that. I was just in jest, but oddly enough, when you bring that up, we are horse trainers as well, have been for generations, and it's odd and really not so odd how we raise our kids. And I was raised the same way. I was treated not unlike how you would train a horse. There are consequences, there are expectations, and you hold to them. And some of these mares and these cows, you'll watch them, they will school these babies, and they will school them hard. And so it makes them a little bit more responsible, but there's a lot of lessons there. There's a lot of life lessons that apply to humans as well as what they're doing naturally. They don't second guess themselves.
And I really think that these sessions can bring that to a lot of people, and to think about some of these things, because I know that horses have taught me just an incredible amount about life, about patience, about clarity, about being consistent, all of these things which are just as important in the human world. But with an animal, it's just so obvious. You can't talk to them, you can't talk your way out of it, you can't offer excuses. There's none of that. The animal just responds to those things that are just, that you convey with your body and your actions.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Anybody who's worked for somebody who didn't speak clearly, or gave ambiguous messaging or ambiguous goals, and then held them accountable for it because they didn't know what to do. I mean, it's all right there. It's all there, and in so many ways that it kind of makes you smile while you're going through it and asking the questions for clarification, and you become an annoyance to those. But you know what? That's what makes us better, hopefully.
Yeah, no, I agree. I have learned so much from watching nature and from watching our birds as well, Brendan. And I'm sure you have learned something from our birds.
I
It's
have.
really, I've always told people that one of the things that I get is, animals just have this total commitment to survival. They don't contemplate things. They are just committed.
They're
And
in it.
yeah, they're in for the long haul. And sometimes we need to remember that we really need to be focused on what's important to nurture our community and ourselves and our families and just focus on those things that really make a difference.
Yep. No, that's exactly right. Well said. And it's universal.
It is universal. And I have such admiration for these birds. I don't know what I'm going to do when Harriet doesn't return. I'm going to be a basket case.
Well, the beautiful part about that is that there are other generations that are doing the same thing.
Yeah,
Somebody
exactly
will take
right.
her place. And that's
Yeah,
what it's
oh,
about. It's
and
about replacing yourself.
wouldn't it be wonderful if one of her banded chicks set up housekeeping? That would be incredible.
That, well, be coming home for them for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Brandon. Thank you
Thank
for your
you.
friendship and for bringing us all to your life. Thank you.
Absolutely. Look forward to it every week, and we will see you next Thursday.
Thanks a lot.
You bet.
Bye.
Bye-bye.